Hey everybody, this is Big Daddy D with another Down and Dirty food review. Today I want to talk to you about Gordon Ramsay's Steakhouse. It was definitely interesting. The atmosphere was pleasant. The people that worked there were very pleasant, very helpful, very courteous and attentive to your needs, but not overbearing. But I'm not here to talk about the ambiance, but rather the culinary cuisine. Try to keep this a little, higher level speaking, because it is Gordon Ramsay's Steakhouse. No, just kidding. So Gordon, if you're watching this, I just have to have a good time. I mean, no offense by anything I say whatsoever. So I ordered the lobster risotto as an appetizer. I've never had risotto before, let alone lobster risotto. I have to say it was very tasty, very rich. I think, and because I like foods, different types of foods, and like I said, it was very tasty. But I don't think I would have it all the time or in big quantities because it is so rich to the palate. But it definitely was flavorful. I also had the lobster bisque. I've had lobster bisque before, so I had a good idea of what I expected it to taste like going into it. There was definitely some differences between this lobster bisque and some I had. The soup, the bisque itself was a little lighter color than what I'm used to. It had a bit of like shredded lobster in the center on top of I don't think it was a biscuit, but it was on top of something which was tasty. And the lobster bisque itself almost tasted like it had a wine reduction in it or something, which was fine. Once again, it was pleasant. I enjoyed it, but I don't know if it wasn't something I would have on a regular basis every time I would go there. But to try it, I definitely it was enjoyable. Definitely had to order the beef Wellington, something Gordon Ramsay is very well known for, a signature dish. Never had beef Wellington before, so really didn't know what to expect. I mean, you can read about beef Wellington and how it's made and how he makes it, so you have kind of an idea. But until you've actually tasted it, you really don't know. And this was very tasty. I hate to use the word crust, but the coating on it, the breaded is not really the right way to say it either, but it was, it was covered in a very thin crepe, like pastry type of thing, but it was more like a bread, not really, it wasn't sweet. It was very tasty. The beef was very tender, cooked really well. I ate the whole thing, but there was so much of it there that I probably should have stopped after just eating half of it and saved the other half. But I was afraid that it probably wouldn't be as good heated up or as a leftover, so I went ahead and ate it all. And needless to say, in fact, the whole meal, I ate so much I had to take some Tums when I got home. Not Tums because it gave me any type of indigestion or heartburn, stuff like that, but I just ate so much that I was I basically was miserable. I don't know if you're familiar with the Monty Python, The Meaning of Life movie, but at the end, this gentleman who's been eating, he says, "Oh, I'm so stuffed, I can't eat any more." And then the waiter brings over a very thin wafer, and then he convinces him to eat the wafer. And when he eats the wafer, because he's eaten so much, he explodes all over the restaurant. I kind of felt like that too. Definitely, the portions were very good portions. My son ordered some truffle fries. Didn't know really what to expect. I know what truffles are, but I was like, okay, how are they going to make truffle fries? But what they did is they brought out some fries, and they had like shredded truffles on top of it, and it was kind of like garlic and stuff like that. In fact, I hate to say it, Gordon, your fries definitely were very reminiscent of the same fries that I had at Smash Burger. They were very good fries, and in fact, there was a mountain of fries. It was ordered. My son ordered it as a side dish, but I tell you what, the pile of fries was more than enough fries for 4 people. Probably enough fries for 6 people, if I was honest about it. We had some fries left over that we brought home, and we're gonna maybe try to heat them up in the oven and see if they still taste as good. I really doubt, because they were definitely very well cooked and very well crispy, and they had a very good taste to them. I do want to say one thing is that my entire life, I've never been a big mashed potatoes fan because of the consistency. I have a hard time swallowing it. The beef Wellington came with a potato puree, which is different than mashed potatoes, but it's very similar. And it had some sliced carrots, and then I think there was something else on there, I'm not sure. I actually liked, and I could eat the potato puree, and I liked the carrots and everything on the plate. If it wasn't for the fact that I was so stuffed from everything, I would have definitely eat everything on my plate. I did eat all the beef Wellington, but I did leave some veggies and some of the potatoes behind. My father, he ordered some of the mac and cheese. I tasted. I have to admit, it was probably one of the best mac and cheese I'd ever had in my life. I don't know how much it cost off the top of my head, but it was some very good mac and cheese. And my parents both had the Caesar salad, and they said it was very good. In fact, the Caesar salad came with Scottish eggs, which is basically a quail egg surrounded by, I think, sausage, and then it's breaded and fried. Interesting and tasty. And the croutons were very fresh. You could definitely tell that they were probably made fresh that day. Unlike, they were definitely not store-bought croutons. They were very good, and the cheese that was on the Caesar salad tasted very, very fresh as well. The last thing that we had, and my mom had a Kansas City strip steak that was also very tender. It was very juicy, and it was nice. And then at the end of the night, although we were stuffed to the gills and miserable, we went ahead and tried the sticky toffee, or sticky pudding, or I think it's called sticky toffee pudding or something like that. It's one of his signature dishes. The waitress said that that's actually his mother's recipe. Kudos to Gordon Ramsay's mother's cooking. It was excellent. I'm glad he put that on the menu, even though I felt like I couldn't eat any more. We got one and we shared it, and it was delicious. The cake that came with it, which it was not pudding at all. It was like a cake with a toffee syrup, and then it had some they call butter ice cream, which actually looked like a stick of butter on there. It was interesting how they displayed it with the knife like it was slicing the butter, and then the waiter, he poured the toffee all over the cake. I don't know if it would have been. I don't know if the cake would have been as good if it was cold, but this came out like it was fresh out of the oven. It was very tasty, very light, very chocolatey. The toffee syrup on it was excellent, and then the butter ice cream was very good. I think it was I actually probably would have liked to have a little more ice cream to go with it, so that way I could have a nice sized piece of ice cream with the cake at the same time. But it was, all in all, it was very enjoyable. And my mom had a side of scallops with her steak. Scallops were tender, and they were really tasted good. I've had scallops other places. Sometimes it's kind of hit and miss, but these were definitely cooked very. I don't want to say I guess perfection is probably pretty close. I don't know what perfection would be for a scallop, but it definitely was on the higher end of scallops that I've eaten. But I tell you what, if you go to one of Gordon Ramsay's steakhouses, don't fixate on the price, because if you do, you won't want to eat there. It's definitely one of the more expensive meals I've ever had. Everything is basically a la carte, which I've been in restaurants before like that. But I definitely would recommend the restaurant. Make sure that you've saved your pennies, because it is very expensive. Or if it's a very, very special occasion, I think that if I was Siskel and Ebert, I'd give it 2 thumbs up. I think the only thing that would have made the evening a little better is if Gordon Ramsay himself would have came over and asked us how the meal was. I think the fanboy of myself and my son probably would have kicked in, and we probably would have just definitely made our year. But in lieu of that, like I said, the employees, the hostess, the waitress, and the server, and everybody were exceptional. Really nice people, did a really well job. Give them kudos. And Gordon, if you do happen to see this video, you can be proud of the people that are working there at that restaurant. That's all I got today. Thank you for tuning in and watching another one of my videos. You guys have a great time.